Hello, welcome to a new episode of This Is My Offer. My name is Tina Holyman and I'm a Partner Development Specialist at AWS. And I'm here today with ViSenze. They're a retail and machine learning competency partner that works with AWS. And I have here Brendan, who is the Chief Commercial Officer at ViSenze. Brendan, if you don't mind introducing yourself, that would be great.
Hey Tina, great to be here. Yes, I'm Brendan O'Shaughnessy. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at ViSenze. I've been with the company for a little over 5 years, looking after sales, marketing, and partnerships. And along the way, I've been heavily involved with our product strategy at different stages. ViSenze are an AI search and discovery company. We've been around since 2012. Our customers include the biggest retailers, brands, and marketplaces from around the world. And as you know, Tina, our solutions are delivered as SaaS in partnership with AWS, and we've been a long-standing partner to AWS for many years. Great to be here.
So ViSenze has been in the market since 2012, and in that time, or at least over the last 5 years since you joined ViSenze, what do you see as the most common challenges with retail search and discovery today?
I think there are two parts to it. There are challenges for consumers, and there are technology challenges for retailers. But if we start with consumers, I think one of the biggest frustrations we all face as shoppers is just how difficult it is to find the right product, right? Whether that's through search, when I might know what I want, but a retailer search engine may not do a great job of finding that for me. Or when I'm browsing and looking at certain products, but the choice of alternative products that are shown to me via recommendations might not be very relevant to me. And I think somehow both of those issues appear to become more challenging over time. I think there's another frustration that's probably a more recent phenomenon. As social networks like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok have grown their audiences and become, very dominant ad platforms as well, their role in delivering inspiration to shoppers has grown massively. But one of the frustrations from this is just how difficult it is when you see a product on Instagram to actually then try to find that product or a similar product on a retailer's website. So I think the gap between the point of inspiration and the point of purchase has become a really big issue for consumers as well. So I think that's really, I guess, where we see the primary challenges from a consumer standpoint.
Certainly as a consumer, I can echo a lot of those points. You also mentioned technology challenges. Can you elaborate on those?
Yeah, I think retailers will all have different technology challenges, but I think in general, we see three recurring issues. Firstly, the platform technology that powers product search on retail sites today is pretty much as old as e-commerce itself. It's typically text matching software. It takes a search term that a shopper types and it tries to find a match against that from the product catalog database. And these typical search platforms then use quite simple ranking or re-ranking mechanisms to sort the search results and try to give you the products that you're looking for. But it's quite a dumbed down approach and it lacks a lot of context. And as a result, you often see poor relevancy in the search results that are presented. Compounding the old search architecture problem is one of the key ingredients of it is the poor quality and inconsistent product data that every retailer struggles with. And poor product data means that a simple text matching search engine will always struggle to deliver good or great results. And I think the third challenge is sort of linked to the first two, in that retailers are spending more and more on resources in an attempt to improve this search quality. And that's become quite a drain on budgets because it's a process that once you start, you can't turn it off. You have to keep going with it. So it's an ongoing OpEx cost, which is really sort of playing whack-a-mole in terms of trying to improve search with the inherent limitations of the technology underpinning it. So I think they're probably the three recurring issues from a technology standpoint that, in talking to retailers around the world, it's a very common theme.
Now, you recently launched a new AI search product. Can you tell us what that is and how that is helping retailers improve search and discovery?
Sure. We recently launched multi-search, and multi-search came about because we saw signs of an industry shift from that old keyword-based search technology I was talking about a moment ago to AI vector-based search technology. Now at ViSenze, our entire search and discovery platform is built on vector architectures. So they're a cornerstone of visual search, which we've been delivering for a decade or so. So we realized we had an inbuilt advantage that we could leverage if we looked at extending beyond image vectors into text vectors. And that means that we can continue to support visual search. We can also improve retailer search performance by introducing AI-based text search, as well as offer multimodal search use cases where we combine image and text into a single search interaction. And we've also designed multi-search to work seamlessly with public LLMs, and that unlocks even more possibilities for retailers. And let me just share 2 examples of that. We're about to launch a product finder experience for a large global sports brand, which will allow shoppers to find the right running shoe by sharing details of their running goals, their training approach, their style of running, etc. And our multi-search LLM solution will narrow down the options and recommend the right shoe for the shopper. In September, we're also launching a new multi-search widget with a global luxury fashion brand, and they're using it a little bit differently. This widget will be used by their customer support staff to help them identify and recommend products that their customers may be interested in buying. So there's just 2 examples of how our multi-search service can be combined with LLMs and support 2 very different product search and discovery use cases.
That's wonderful to hear. How else do you expect retailers to use multi-search? You mentioned multi-modality a few moments ago. Can you explain more about what type of use cases you can support with that feature? And can you show us some examples?
Sure. So I believe multimodality I think it's our key differentiator. And in the conversations we're having with customers, it's clear that they're really, really excited about some of the new use cases that multimodality opens up in helping shoppers to find products. So in a search context, multimodal is a technical design that allows images and text inputs to be combined into a single search query. And with this capability, retailers are able to improve the search experience in several different ways. And I can show you some examples of what I mean. So we have a demo app here, which highlights some of the use cases for multi-search. But if I type, I'll conduct a simple search here for jeans. Now, typically when you do a text search with jeans, you'll get results like this. But what we're able to do here in terms of the search is we can change that search to baggy jeans. And what I can do here is in scrolling the results, there may be a particular product that I like more than others. It might be this baggy high jeans here. So with multimodal search, I can just click on this item. And what it's now showing me, it's combining the image from that product that I saw on the search results page. It's now combining it with my original search term, baggy jeans. But you can see here, it's further refined the results that I see. So now I've got quite a few sort of baggy high jeans, baggy dad jeans, which are a particular type of baggy jeans. It's the type of product I'm interested in. So this is an example of how multimodal in the form of text search combined with image allows for more relevant results being served back to the shopper more quickly. So that's an example of multimodal in action from a text search standpoint. Now, if I go back here and trigger a new search, I'll start with an image search. I'm going to upload an image of a shoe. So here with a shoe, it's a high top basketball shoe, but maybe I want a low top version of this. So I've used that image to find, the type of shoe I'm looking for, but there's a variation to that I'm actually interested in. So by combining that image and now adding a text search to it, I'm able to get further into the actual product that I'm looking for, which is a variation on the product in the image that I've searched. So that's a few examples of multimodality search in action. And as you can see, I think, multimodal search and that capability significantly improves the power of the search bar. But, with multimodal, we're also not limited to the search bar and just having search in the search bar anymore. We can now bring search outside the search bar that retailers are typically reliant on. Now, just showing you an image search, but searching with an image means the shopper has to have an image of the product. So that basketball shoe that I searched with, I have to have that image on hand. And that's been a limiting factor in how frequently image search has typically been used. One related frustration was, despite retail websites having thousands of product images, they're not searchable, or they weren't searchable. But with multi, we're now able to make every product image on a retail website a searchable asset. So this quite literally extends search beyond the search bar for the first time ever. And we call that trigger search. So if I give you an example here, we'll go back to the jeans. We have a pair of skinny ripped jeans here. And what I can do here, this is a simulated PLP, by having this icon here on the retailer's images, what I can do is I can search using that image and find something either close to this or similar to this or like this, but a little bit different. So what can you do with this? Well, there's a pair of jeans here. I might actually want, that in a pair of shorts. So here I can use that website image, that retailer's product image, but using multi-search and trigger search, actually, use that as a search query rather than bring a product or an image to the search experience myself. Another variation of that may be it's a pair of skinny jeans, but I'm looking for something like that. But going back to the baggy jeans, I want some baggy jean alternatives. All right. So again, this is an example of how rather than relying on the shopper to bring the image for an image search, we're now able to make every website image that a retailer has, we're able to make that a searchable asset and help shoppers use those images to find products quickly. So that's another example of how multi-search and multimodality capabilities is able to bring search outside the search box and provide different ways for shoppers to find the products you're looking for fast. Now, I touched upon one of the other aspects I touched upon was these rise in social networks and the role they're increasingly playing in being sort of points of inspiration for shoppers. And I highlighted the fact that, when we talk to retailers, there's a big disconnect between the investment they're making in promoting products and their brand on social networks, but the challenges they face in helping shoppers find those products on their website. And one of the things we come up with, and we've had a great response from retailers around, is what we call social search. So social search uses our multi-search, multimodality search to make Instagram or other social media platform feeds shoppable. So in this instance, a retailer can replicate their Instagram feed on their own website, even deliver that in a similar browsing experience that you might find on the social network. But the difference here is as you browse, as a shopper browses this experience, the difference here, all of the products are instantly shoppable. So here, multi-search is able to auto-process all of those social post images, identify the products within them, and then link them to products in the retailer's catalog. So for the shopper, they get a very simple way to have that inspiration that they've seen on the social networks, but then go back to the retailer's website and in a very similar way browse those posts, but in this way do so with product links that are eminently shoppable. Okay, and that's another way in which multi-search is solving retailer problems today. This is a great source of inspiration for retailers, for shoppers. A lot of investment goes into it, but what we're trying to solve here is how retailers can better monetize that investment and how shoppers can more easily find the products that they're inspired to buy. The last experience I want to just highlight in terms of how multi-search can work is what we call Recommend Me. Now, we positioned multi-search as a search and discovery platform. And while success for both search and recommendations is typically measured in click-through rate and conversion metrics, up to now, those services have typically been siloed. Now, we believe that will change over time and that search and recommendations will become more fluid, more interchangeable through platforms like multi-search. So whilst ViSenze have AI recommendation services like similar products, pairing suggestions, and shop the look that are used by retailers around the world, we're introducing a new one called Recommend Me, which is powered by multi-search and uses an integrated LLM. Now, this is another ViSenze innovation where for the first time ever, a shopper can choose or write their own personalized recommendations to see the products that they're looking for. Now, if I look at this example here of a PDP, what I can do here, rather than sort of scroll down and see a lot of recommendation carousels, we have this little widget just below the hero product. And what we can do here is allow for the customer to determine what are the type of recommendations they want to see on that page. So in this instance, I might want to see matching shoes. I might want to see a bag to go with this. I might want to view, similar dresses. Now, these are all quite typical recommendations, particularly, more like this or similar dresses that you might see in a PDP. But what we're able to do here is run these recommendations in the background, have them predetermined as options for the shopper on the page to select which one is of interest to them. And that's something that's going to drive deeper engagement for the retailer with that shopper. Is more likely to drive a converted outcome. But we don't stop there. With Recommend Me as a shopper, I'm able to write my own recommendation in effect. So this is really about hyper-personalized recommendations. So if I want to see a dress like this in a fuchsia options, I can type that, and the recommendation engine here, multi-search recommendation engine, will find products that are based upon the product in question on the PDP, but hyper-customized, hyper-personalized to what I'm looking for as a shopper. So that's another example of how our multi-search platform can help shoppers find what they're looking for faster, more intuitively, and a much more personalized level, and also helps retailers engage and convert more visits. So a lot happening with multi-search, and a lot of these things I've shown you, Tina, are driven by multimodality, which, as I say, is one of our key differentiators.
There is a lot in there, and I can definitely see how transformative it would be for both consumers and retailers. If retailers watching this want to launch some of these new innovative services, how easy is it, and what do they need to do?
Well, as we're a SaaS provider, it's really quite simple and fast to get started. We've built multi-search into our Discovery Suite platform. That platform has been around for about 3 years. It's used by retailers all around the world for our visual search and our recommendation services. So all a retailer needs to do to get started is provide a product catalog feed to our Discovery Suite platform. That can be implemented and synchronized very easily by an API or even with a file upload. And once we have that product data, we can enhance it, and we can create text and visual vector embeddings. And then they're ready to choose a use case, configure that, and get going. To get these services live on their website, we've created fast launch widgets that they can quite easily customize, preview on site, and then deploy. And in terms of effectiveness and measuring that, we also offer free pilots and POCs. So retailers can evaluate these, they can configure, they can test, they can measure the impact of these services before deciding to buy and commit. And finally, as an AWS global partner, multi-search can also be contracted via marketplace, just as our other services can as well.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Brendan. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to continuing to partner with you in the future.
Tina, really great to be with you today, and look forward to further partnership activity going forward. Many thanks.